And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a show about shows. It's been far too long. It's been 2 weeks. Episode 58 here. We're recording on August the 9th of 2020. Glitter is the new gold. Well, our lovely titles as we always have. I am JPO, Jordan Riccione, joined by a man. It's so good to see your smiling big boss man face. He's my big boss man, Dutch McAllister.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It was because of me that the show didn't go on last week. I don't know. A lot of things up in the air, but we just decided, I needed some time off, so we took some time off, and now we're back in the game, boss. We're back in the game.
We're back in the game. We got several movie reviews for you here today. As you can see by my backdrop, if you're watching instead of listening, we're talking the top 10 films of 1998. And, of course, we got some news and notables as well. Some TV show talk, too. So. And
if you're actually looking on TV, we still got Donkey in the back, so we're pretty good. We're still living.
Good to know.
Everyone probably knows this about Donkey.
My favorite donkey is, of course, from Shrek.
Yeah,
all right, let's kick things off with our movie reviews. Here we got a few here for you. First, we're going to start off with Under the Riccione Sun. Tell me, how did I box that? Riccione or Riccione?
I think it's like Riccione. It's an Italian film. So
Under
get your
Riccione Sun, and I am Italian, I should know. While they are spending their holidays on the beaches of Riccione, some men help each other manage romantic relationships and summer crushes. This stars Lorenzo Zorrozzolo, Cristiano Cramacoccio, Ludovica Martino, Saul Nani, Isabella Ferrari, and Luca Ward. So, Dasha McAllister, tell me about this film.
Oh, let me tell you, if I was an Italian plumber looking for something, I would say this is my film.
Hey, Italian? I can do the shitty voice. You can't.
I'm Italian as well, my friend.
I've boxed the voice.
I've done my ancestry DNA, and it's coming up roses for that. So, plus, I could actually trace my lineage to Naples, Italy, Napoli. So that's even better. So let me tell you. This film, this week, I had a theme, and I stuck with it. If the film was made, it had to be red, basically. And that's what most of my films are this week. Actually, all my films are this week. But yeah, this film is basically a summer romance film. Think of it that way. It's like I'm trying to think of a good one. You have a good summer romance movie that we haven't ever talked about. I just trying to think it off the top of my head. But yeah, this film is just basically it's an Italian effort from Netflix, and basically it's about a blind kid who falls in love. There's Camilla, who has a boyfriend, but Camilla is the one that he falls in love with. They basically start off by texting each other, and little by little, they fall in love. Then, of course, you have the friend who's always been around for a while. There's like 5 love stories in this whole thing. They cram it into an hour and a half, so it's kind of like weird at first. Then it finds its footing as it goes through. But no, all in all, the storylines are pretty fun. It's a good time. It has some just some mild. There's some times where I mildly laughed aloud. But yeah, I guess the fun films that you kind of look for just to ease your mind about everything around you. I know I didn't really do it a lot of service with the description, but it's just something that you have to experience to feel it. And all in all, and I'm a little rusty, as you know, for being off last week, so that's why my reviews are awful, it seems. But this is 3.5 snowflakes. It's a 3.5 snowflake effort. I gave it a thumbs up on the old clicker, and I'm happy.
Awesome, man. It sounds like a film I'll probably never see.
Well, you could put it. There's English dubbed. You could English dub it if you wish. I just like to hear the original actors speak, because I did for a second they were speaking English. I was like, whoa, this is not an English making film. It is just the dub looked okay. It just the emotion wasn't there as you would have with the characters. When they're in the studio, they don't really feel what the actors are feeling. That's just my opinion. Next up, we have a debut film for an actor who's this is a directorial debut, correct?
Yes,
this is Dave Franco's movie, The Rental. Two couples on an oceanside getaway grow suspicious that their host, the host of their seemingly perfect rental home, may be spying on them. Before long, what should have been a celebratory weekend trip turns into something far more sinister. This is starring Dan Stevens, Alison Brie, Jeremy White, Sheila Vand, and Toby Huss. I've heard good things about this film, and I'm hoping to hear some things from you as well. So what do we got?
Yeah, so The Rental, the debut feature from Jimmy Franco's little kid brother Dave is out. And yeah, I was looking forward to it because I had heard pretty decent things as well. And it's not bad. It's not. There's definitely, again, as in most horror films, there's some questionable choices that they make all throughout the film here. And it is very much a slow burn, so keep that in mind. It's very much setting up for those last like 20, 30 minutes is really when things kick into the next gear. But I didn't mind the setup here. You have four really good actors here. Stevens, Brie, two of my favorites. Brie's actually the wife of Dave Franco, so I know how she got casted. No, but she's fantastic, and she's really good in this as well. I don't know much of Sheila Vand, but she really did good, and Jeremy White, who's on Shameless. And even Toby Huss. I'll just say the whole cast, because there's not much more to the cast without getting to spoilers here. It's very much those four and a little bit of creepiness from Toby Huss, maybe a little bit of racial undertones as well from his character here. So it was all right, like I said. I mean, you know, once it starts ramping up, it ramps up very quickly. It ends kind of abruptly, too, you know what I mean? And you don't love these characters, but you're not supposed to love these characters either here. So I don't want to make the pun that I'm sure many reviewers have made. It's worth a rental.
It's only $6.99, so it's not like crazy like everywhere else where it's like $19.99 or anything like that.
No, yeah, it was a regular price. I actually did it off Amazon for once because I had a couple of like dollars for digital dollars off. So I spent like $3 or something on it. But no, I think it's worth checking out if you like a horror. You know, just know that it's not going to be all throughout. It's going to be that last bit where things kind of finally unravel here for the most part. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I can't give it no more. Definitely don't want to give it any less. I enjoyed it, but 3 stars for me.
Good to hear. So I was actually tinkering around with that this afternoon. You know, I was just like highlighting it, and it's like, do I want to? Do I want to do it? But 2 others I'm fighting with right now, other than this one. So yeah, that is on the list of rentals. Even
Tinker
though
away. Here's one you did tinker with. Nobody knows I'm here. Mimo lives on a remote Chilean sheep farm, hiding a beautiful singing voice from the outside world. I know how he feels. A recluse with glittery flair, he can't stop dwelling in the past. But what will happen once someone finally listens? This stars Hurley, Jorge Garcia from Lost, Maria Paz Grandjean, and Luis Gnecco. I was excited when I saw Hurley has his own Netflix movie, and then I watched the trailer, and I was like, it's not what I expected.
No. It is not what you would expect. It is a kind of a sour film, a dour film, we'll say. Not you know, it's more of what could have been, should have been. He has regrets of the past. We don't know what those regrets are until probably almost 3/4 of the way through the film. But there's also other parts of it in which, if you watch the preview of this film, you'll find that he was the singing voice to it's almost like a Milli Vanilli type feel, you know, where they took his voice and put it with somebody who was sexier and more marketable. And so those things are what took place there, and you find a little bit more, and it's just a great performance put in, you know, by Jorge Garcia. I haven't seen him in a lot of things lately, except for I think he was on Hawaii Five-0 and a few other type of shows here and there. But he has been doing. I think he was one of the guests. He was a guest star a couple times at Hawaii Five-0 this year.
What's the Kevin Hart movie with Josh Gad? He was in that.
Oh God, what was that one? I don't even remember that one at all.
I was gonna say Wedding Planner, but no, that's a McConaughey rom-com.
Oh, is that the one about the best man or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, this film has a lot of heart. It takes care of you know, the lead, and it just brings you into his world of what he sees and his bitterness toward how, his family did to him in the past. He falls in love with this young girl, and his world changes as soon as that happens. He's basically just isolated himself on this sheep farm island, and doesn't want to be talked to. So it is a powerful film. Does it end the way you want it to end? Maybe not, but it is totally one of the best films of the year so far for me. Again, we have not had a big sheet of good films, but this one probably jumps all the way up into the top 10 easily. The performance alone is just extraordinary. But Nobody Knows I'm Here. I Know You're There, and I gave it 4 snowflakes. It's just, it again, you can watch this on English dub as well. Somehow my Netflix got messed up and made me, I had to turn it back over to the Spanish speaking with subtitles instead, because it was kind of just odd. I was like, why is it speaking? Is that supposed to be an English speaking film? But yeah, again.
Yeah, strong review there for this movie. That's kind of interesting. Like I said, it was definitely something I looked at once I first saw the trailer, and yeah, maybe I'll have to check it out. The Wedding Ringer, by the way.
The Wedding Ringer. Okay, yeah.
Adam Sandler movie, Ridiculous 6.
Oh, God. I didn't watch that one, so that's why I haven't seen it in a while. Okay, the next one we have for me is one that I reviewed earlier this year, but you have finally jumped on the wagon to see what's out there. It's called Trolls World Tour. Queen Poppy and Branch make a surprise discovery. There are other troll worlds beyond their own, and their distinct differences create big clashes between these various tribes. This has the voice talents of Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, Rachel Bloom, James Corden, Ron Funches, who I love, Sam Rockwell, Kelly Clarkson, George Clinton, and Mary J. Blige. Now, how did you like this one, Jordan? Because this has been a while since I think me and Don Mega did this on the show. We both watched it, and we both reviewed it on our show when it came out earlier this year. So what did you think about it?
Yeah, we held off on it because I knew my niece would probably want to watch it more than once, and I wasn't going to keep renting it for $20. So we waited till buy it to $20. She actually ended up watching it before me when it first came out a couple of weeks ago, and I watched it again, and she actually sat down and watched it all over again. So it definitely has an audience out there. As I said for the last one, it's kid. Hold on, I have to phrase this the right way, else it sounds really weird. But like it's eye porn for kids. You know what I mean? Like it is just it's gorgeous looking, it's vibrant, it's got pop songs, and that's what it is. It's a soundtrack, and that's what bothers me and left me off at points is that it delved away from the story and just felt like a record at some points. That's my least kind of favorite of a musical, is when it feels like they're just doing songs for song's sakes instead of it actually being really relevant to the plot. But the end of it has a good message. It's some fun voice characters, Ron Funches, you mentioned, Sam Rockwell's character, I thought was kind of funny, you know what I mean? And Kendrick and Timberlake also charm as well. So it's fine. And it's very much on the level of the last one. I think I like the last one a little bit more, actually, but I'm going to give it 2.5. It's fine. It definitely serves the right audience. Kids will like it. It just never really got me to any kind of next level.
Yeah, it's James Corbin and his regular shtick, basically, in this one. He's doing the same.
I fucking hate James Corden, man.
No, I love him. I just wish him better. I wish him better. That's all.
Well, it's continuing on your subtitles. The Lift Boy. When a lazy young man replaces his father as the elevator operator of a posh residential complex, what he sees as menial work soon takes on new meaning. This stars Neela Masood, Moin Khan, Anisha Shah, and Sagar Kyle. Talk to me about The Boy Who Lifts.
Again, this is a Netflix exclusive, and it is a Hindu film from
Was this
India.
all on Netflix this week for you, by the way?
Yes, I stuck on Netflix. I stuck the landing hard, it seems, but I enjoyed it. These are the ones that I've been wanting to watch, and I finally just got around to watching it, basically. And The Lift Boy, it is basically a kid who looks down upon his father's job, who he is the lift man, I guess you want to say, until he has a heart attack. And so he has a heart attack. He survives the heart attack, but he can't work for 3 weeks. And so his son is forced to replace him in this job, this menial job, this below him job, who's saying, no, look, I'm an engineer. Well, he's not an engineer because he's failed the test 4 times. And so basically it's him learning that every job is basically meaningful. And it's just the people around you who make your life better. And I think, and that's what I took out from this film. There's a few sad points of this as well that take place later on with some of the characters. But it is it's a delightful film with these two. Naila Masood, who's one of the older leads, along with Moin Khan, who is the lift boy as a character. And those two characters it's between their growth and their relationship as well. And like I said, it's just a good film. And not only does it have subtitles, they do speak English sometimes. So it's kind of weird, where, I'm looking for the subtitles and there's no subtitles. And I'm like, oh okay, I actually got to pay attention to what they're saying, more because they're now speaking English. So, but yeah, it's a good film. I enjoyed it. I think it came off pretty well. It's a little less than the Riccione Sun, the Riccione Sun film because, again, it has a little bit less. There's no romance in this one. Just a lot of life lessons, we'll say. But it's three snowflakes I gave it. It's still a good film. So, the next film that we're going to talk about, I believe it's our last one on this one, you filled in, actually, no, there's a few of them. I'm sorry. I apologize, buddy. The first one is called Wretched. A rebellious teenage boy struggling with his parents' imminent divorce encounters a terrifying evil after his next-door neighbor becomes possessed by an ancient witch that feasts on children. Wow, I wouldn't want that neighbor. It stars John Howard, Jameson Jones, Piper Curta, and Kevin Bigley. What is this film? Tell me what this is. It sounds like Hansel and Gretel, but not.
So this is currently streaming on Hulu, and this is one of the movies that will actually go down in history as being number one in the box office with a few grand. This was playing in drive-ins and local small theaters that stayed open during Corona.
So this is that film. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is that film.
Yeah, this is The Wretched. This was number one at the box office. Yeah.
Oh, I'll look at it.
It's on Hulu, and again, basically because of that fact alone, I kind of was drawn to it. I was like, okay, let me see it. I've heard some okay things about it, and that's kind of what it was. Similar to The Rental here, you're pretty, even more so, because The Rental I at least was kind of into the dialogue and the setup of these couples. You're kind of bored these first 30 minutes. This is missing the acting and it's missing the characters too, which is why this is going to be a little bit less in the Rental review here, because the main guy, you just don't care. They try to set up a relationship between him and one of the young girls, and you don't care. And, that just loses you a little bit here. He's just kind of whiny, and he's not fun to be around. It has it did have some kind of fun twists and turns. It's not some good practical effects too. Probably the best part about it is that there's definitely the money's on screen for the little bit that they had with the practical effects. And had a little bit of kind of a Rear Window vibe of him kind of studying the neighbor, and it was more Twilight Zone than gory, which I actually kind of enjoyed, that it was more, a little bit of twists and turns here, even though sometimes it didn't totally earn the twist. It was just twist for twist's sake. So I guess it's from a first-time director. I wouldn't mind seeing more from them, maybe with a little bit of a tweaking of the script here. But yeah, I'm going to give it 2.5. Like I said, it's on Hulu if you want to give it a check out.
Yeah, usually I look at Hulu and I think to myself, what films do they have every week? Because I do like to look and see what they put on. I didn't even look at it this week. Like I said, I've been in my own little fuzzy little world for a couple of weeks. But I'm happy to hear that's there. It goes to show you that people really are desperate for entertainment during this shut-in. that was there, even though everyone's opening slowly. But to have this the number one at the box office and hear what you said about it, it's kind of
It was
funny.
a new movie. It was a new movie, and I mean, I like championing small filmmakers too. So it was just one of those weird trivia facts. Hopefully, in a few years when we're back in theaters, we'll go, hey, remember what was the one random horror movie that was number one? It'll be a trivia question one day.
You know what? Then of course, it made a little bit more. It made its money back. So now some big Hollywood guy is going to come out and say, "Hey, let's Blair Witch this bitch." You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to probably
Well,
wind
I'm
up
sure
saying.
we'll have the Wretched 2 on video someday.
Well, they'll probably do more than just video at that point. The next one, you actually held the torch for me on this one. You carried the torch.
You dropped the documentary torch, and I picked it up once again.
And I'm so happy for you because I was going to get one in, but I just I already read my stuff. But no, this was Amazing Jonathan's documentary. It's on, I believe it's on Hulu, right? What begins as a documentary following the final tour of a dying magician, the Amazing Jonathan, becomes an unexpected and increasingly bizarre journey as the filmmaker struggles to separate truth from illusion. This has John Seals, Ben Berman, Ali Yankovic, Judy Gold, Eric Andre, and Penn Jillette. I've been wanting to watch this, and I've been putting it off for a couple of years now, it seems. But how did you enjoy it?
Well, you can't be putting it off that long. It's been out less than a year, but it has been out for about almost a year now. Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's streaming. This was one too that for some reason I think I just always forgot I had whenever I had Hulu to watch it, but I finally made an effort this time because I really liked Amazing Jonathan. He's someone that I actually during this tour that they're filming. I don't know if it was this tour or the one after or not, because that's the crazy thing about this story is he's a guy that came out several years ago saying, my doctors say I have 1 year to live. And then as the movie shows the very next scene, it goes 3 years later, and it's about, that. And he had this final tour and actually was hoping to see him. He was supposed to be in Naples, Florida, and then it ended up getting canceled because I'm a fan. I wanted to see him live. And I'm glad that description is the description we have of the movie here because that's my problem here with the movie is that I was looking for the Amazing Jonathan documentary. That's what it's called. That's what I'm here for, Amazing Jonathan. This delves pretty quickly into more of the director for a large chunk of the film. He finds out that there's not one, not two, but you find out 3 other people are doing documentaries on Amazing Jonathan. And then he starts to question whether or not he's telling him the truth. And then it gets delved into that. And then even that doesn't really have much of a payoff is the problem here. And it leaves on such an note. And I just felt like so much of it wasn't devoted to Amazing Jonathan. That's why I'm here. So it's not that it was uninteresting. The Ben Berman parts where it's about him. Oh, why am I studying this guy that's supposedly dying? Do I have a fetish with death and all that? It's not uninteresting, but it's just not why I'm here. And I just feel like we delved far too much away because he was trying to make. I think he even says it in the film. He's trying to make something different from the other filmmakers. And of those 4 filmmakers, only one of them has actually had something completed over on Amazon Prime, which is almost not even a movie. I don't even think it's an hour long, from Steve Byrne, who's a famous stand-up comedian. So it was good. It was 3 stars, though. It's just I can't give it any more just because I just thought it delved too much off without much of a payoff. It was one of those fun conspiracies that, unfortunately, in the end, you have no proof of any of it being true, or I'll just in this guy's head. And then, in my mind, don't call it the Amazing Jonathan documentary. Call it something different because that's not what we got in the end. Was the Amazing Jonathan documentary? We got about 40% of that, and then 60% of this dude in his own mind.
Well, yeah, and I those are kind of like a bait and switch. But again, the story changed as he was doing the documentary. It sounds so he had to figure a way to.
No, like it didn't though. That's the problem. If the story totally changed and it was one of those like what was it when they found out the guy really was a killer or whatever, that would be fine. But the story didn't change. I think he was just scrambling to make a different documentary. And that's the problem. If the payoff was better, I'd give it a higher rating for being more interesting, but the payoff's not there to quantify going away from why I'm here.
Okay, I understand. Oh man, sounds like an exhausting documentary. So I probably will not watch that one. Then I will take it out of my queue.
It was just a letdown. Like exhausting, no. Like I said, 3 is not bad. I mean, what was there was interesting, but it just wasn't fulfilling enough.
Okay.
You were a busy man. As we move on now to TV show talk, we got several TV shows here we're going to chit chat about. First off, of course, fan of the show, Zac Efron has a new show on Netflix, Down to Earth. Tell me about what Zac Efron's up to.
Down to Earth, man. I just was looking at it, and I've heard reviews over about it, and then I said, you know what, let's just watch it, and get over it and see if it's any good. Turns out I've watched all the episodes. I think there's 8 episodes of the show, and it is a very a good show. Zac basically goes on with his friend that he found. I forgot his name all of a sudden, but he goes off with his guru, and they tour the world, learning from different places how to better clean the water, how to use less fossil fuels, how to eat better, how to sustain the world around us and make it a better place. It's just a great little documentary of episodes. There's, like I said, there are 8. They're not very long. They don't feel very long. Sometimes they felt like they went by too quickly for me, because I was like, well, could we have stayed a little longer in this area? Because I was more interested, and then I had to look up my own stuff, which I think is what they want you to do as well, is to see what else is, if it pings your brain and you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. It's just a great little series. I'm hoping they bring it back. I don't know if they will, but I think we could learn a lot more about our world, and how to make it a better place to live, with sustainable energies and foods and things like that, and water. Make sure our water is as clean as it should be. It's just very fascinating stuff. The next show we're going to talk about, we're not talking fried. We're talking catfish over there on MTV with you, Mr. Jordan. I have never been catfished. Have you been catfished?
No, but I'm sure people have tried. I mean, that's why I always check my Facebook. If we have no mutual friends and you're a model and and you've just created your profile in the last week, you're probably not real.
What? That's all the friends I have.
No, so this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I've watched this, for several years now. It started off as a movie, actually, about the guy that is the host, me, and he's continued on now to help other people in the TV show. He has a new host now in the last couple of seasons, changed to a girl co-host. This season, unfortunately, though, it is in the COVID area, so unfortunately it's not them traveling and getting to know the person, then traveling to the other person's house, and always how every episode begins like, oh, are they coming to the front door? And then, you got to wait 40 minutes to see if they find the person. So that did suck out a lot of the fun, is when you're just watching them on Zoom calls like this, and you're just like, let's see if the person joins them. So I don't think I'm going to keep up with it this season, unfortunately. Again, if you're a fan, it's on Hulu. And I do recommend it. A lot of times, though, I am watching going, please don't be a fat person. Please, it's another sad fat person. But there's been some really fun. I'd at least recommend like the top 10 moments or something like that, because there's been some funny, crazy.
All I can say is don't watch episode 6. Okay, you'll be very surprised.
I saw you.
That was a sad fat person.
So yeah, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but just I don't know, just watching nonstop Zoom calls, even with like the late night shows, I just can't get into it to a large degree, and this is definitely a prime example.
So the next one we're going to talk about is what I love, actually, Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated series that just came out on CBS All Access. Yes, there's only one episode to go about, but it's funny, it's creative, it made me laugh out loud. It's just great storytelling at its best. And it basically doesn't even deal with the higher-ups. It's all about, as you know, with the lower deck. These people are the guys and gals that you don't see on the regular episodes. They're the ones who are cleaning out the hog slop, or going to the planet after they make second contact and doing all the extra errands that the big guys can't handle to do. So it's basically us working class folk going out there and putting our jobs and just being told about it. But yeah, it's just a fun show. I can't wait for the rest of the season. It's looking like it'll be just a fun romp. And I'm glad that Star Trek doesn't take itself as seriously as, say, Star Wars or something like that. I would like to see a Star Wars one where they do this, something like this. But I'm just happy to see that Star Trek doesn't take themselves too serious. It's a great tongue-in-cheek show.
Yeah, I might have to check this out because I'm going to talk about CBS All Access and the news and notables here. There's not a hell of a lot that I'm into right now, but this is something that I'm into. So I think I might still have another month left, sadly. So I might have to check this out.
Yeah, you should. It's well worth the watch. This next one is all the way from our friends at Comedy Central, who really wanted to sign Jordan, but he turned it away because he wanted to keep doing this show. It's called Corporate. That was what this was.
Dutch. You never sent that email.
I got the email. I turned them down for you, okay? I'm watching out for you, buddy. I'm watching out for you.
This is a half an hour comedy on Comedy Central here, and I've actually grown to like this even more here. Again, it goes without saying, it's set in the corporate world here, and it can be it's very dull-lidded, and the humor is just kind of it's a darker version of The Office here, and even when the last episodes recently featured probably my favorite episode of all 3 seasons, or 4 seasons even. I think it's 3. Bob Odenkirk, who voices the guy's cat, but in like a cat suit, and he's saying dark things to him. And I don't know, you just got to see to believe it. I thought it was a fantastically well-made season. I don't know if it's because maybe now I'm just picking up on the sense of humor. Maybe my life's gone darker. I don't know. But all I know is I'm really liking this 3rd season. I didn't love the first 2. And it's one of those ones that kind of like, if I probably saw maybe half of each season. But I'm digging it so far here. I think the writing's on par. Again, maybe it's just one of those shows that maybe took a little bit to find these characters here, but it's really good. I'm really liking it so far. Now that I like it, I'm waiting for it to get canceled because that's usually what happens.
That's what happens with every show. I like, you probably like, the world feels your pain if that happens, because there's still, I think, an episode, I can't remember what series it was, but I know there's an episode out there that just still gets in my craw because they were tightened up the story before that. Well, the next one we have is, again, from Netflix, animated. This is a 3rd part of the series of Tales of Arcadia. This is Wizards Tales of Arcadia. I just sat and watched the whole show in 2 days, 10 episodes. This is Guillermo del Toro's, Troll Hunter series, if you remember that, with the late, what was his name? I'm awful with names. The kid who played Chekhov in Star Trek.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin. He was in the first series. Then they had a second series that he was no longer a part of because he passed so suddenly, and so they redid him with Emil Hirsch. His character is recast with Emil Hirsch's voice. And then he's still doing the same voice in this episode as well. The good thing is, I don't know if it's on your notes and notables, but they are going to continue this series, I think, with an hour-and-a-half final film. So you have these little series of vignettes, 1 or 2 seasons worth, in order from Troll Hunters. I think the other one was like a B4, something like that, or 3 something. I can't remember that one, but that was a pretty good one too. Along with this one was just, I love the series. It's great for kids, great for family to watch, and you'll enjoy it. Do you remember watching Troll Hunters, the series? You haven't seen it yet? You need to. You and your niece will have a good time, and there's more than 30 episodes you guys can indulge, and they're 30 minutes apiece, about. So they're well worth good times and chunks. So well worth a watch. Wizards Tales of Arcadia on Netflix.
I want to go back just for a hot second here. I just looked it up. Lower Decks reminds me a lot of a Screen Junkies TV show, Interns of Field, not Shield, Field, that they ran. Same idea of just like the people that pick up after the superheroes and the interns. It actually had Shonda Lipnicki, Casper Van Dien, and Jamie Kennedy were in it. Short-lived, but I want to give them a shout-out because I thought similar concept.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that even existed, so that might be something I might Google up.
Well, their famous
Little later.
YouTube channel, they're the ones that do honest trailers, and they actually had a very short-lived pay $5 a month, and they actually had a scripted TV show on it while it lasted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do love the honest trailers and all the other stuff they do too as well. United We Fall. It's on CBS. What is this, Jordan? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a new family sitcom. Stationary camera on CBS. Will Sasso, Christina Vidal, Jane Curran. Fun to see her back, and dude from Half Baked. Sorry, that dude. Not Jim Burr, not Dave Chappelle, that guy.
The other guy.
So it's fine here. I like the cast. I'm glad to see Will Sasso, who I've been a big champion of since Mad TV had his own show. Even him though, he's very it's two parents that have two kids and they're running roughshod and just figuring things out CBS style. And
Hold on. Breaking news is on ABC.
Oh, did I get the channel wrong?
Yeah, that's all right. ABC.
Sorry.
I just looked it up. I wanted to see what it was. I never saw it.
Man. So yeah, I mean it's totally fine. It's not gonna rock your world. If you're just looking for new content for the summer, this was out, so that's something I followed up with a little bit here. So United We Fall, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the last TV show that we talked here, and it's Transformers War for Cybertron. Yes, Autobots, saddle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. This show is set to be a trilogy, and it's on Netflix again. It's anime style. The style of it alone is crisp. It is it's just unbelievably fun. And if you're a big fan of the Transformers, you will not be disappointed. Some of the old voices show back up. I love they brought Starscream back, being the whiny little bitch that he is, always trying to suck up to Megatron, and I love it. And and they took a little bit of a different turn with some of the characters, which is great, fantastic. But yeah, and not everyone likes our friend Optimus Prime. You'll find out in this show. Not even all the Autobots. So it's just well worth the watch, and it's on Netflix. I think the first 6 episodes are out. There's going to be more later, but right now I've watched all 6, and they go down so well. Well worth the watch. So that's what I have. So yeah, so watch those shows that we just talked to you about. Down to Earth with Zac Efron, Catfish, Star Trek Lower Decks, Corporate, Wizards, Tales of Arcadia, United We Fall, and Transformers War for Cybertron. So check those out when you get a chance. The next thing is that billboard behind you. What's that say behind you, buddy? It says Top 10 films. No, it doesn't. It just says Top 10 films of 1998 because that's what we're going to go for next. The top 10 films of 1998.
Okay, 1998 is what we're going to go with, our top 10 1998 films. People have been chomping at the bit. I've heard they've been going crazy about them. So, Jordan, start us off with your top 10.
All right. Some honorable mentions here, as we always do. You've Got Mail, A Bug's Life, Dark City, Patch Adams, and Waterboy. Just sitting outside of my top 10. My number 10, though, it's a fun one. I like twists and turns in a movie. I like pulpy dialogue, even though it's not always good. So my number 10 is Wild Things, where everyone betrays everyone and then betray the people that they betrayed or betrayed upon. Nev Campbell, Denise Richards, Matt Dillon, you even got Bill Murray having some fun here as well. Like I said, it's kind of just a fun, schlocky film. I just like when you never know who to trust, just like I can't quite trust you.
Okay. So your number 10 is what again? I'm sorry, I just went blank.
I was literally about to say, are you listening to a word I'm saying?
I was to a point.
Obviously,
Wild Things?
There you go. So you kind of were half-assed paying attention.
Search right. It happens to me on occasion with you. Anyway, my honorable mentions for this week is There's Something About Mary, Pleasantville, Dr. Dolittle, City of Angels, and Out of Sight. But number 10 on my list, this introduced us all to, I believe, Guy Ritchie. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. It was just a good film. Very out there. It was the first time I've ever seen a film just so different, and it stuck with me. And I'm glad to see that he's back because we watched him in The Gentleman as well, getting back to stride, as they say. So that's my number 10, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
My number 9 is Do You Understand the Words Coming Out of My Mouth? One of the funniest kind of buddy cop action films, Rush Hour, Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. It's funny. It's some great, of course, stunt choreography from the one and only Jackie Chan in this. Never funnier than ever Chris Tucker here. He totally works in this. And Rush Hour. There's a reason we got 3 of these things.
Yeah, we may get a 4th. I believe he wants to do a 4th, which I don't know. There's no rushing. They're getting old. Oh, man. My number 9 was not very well received, that great, but it was well received by me. That's all that matters. Meet Joe Black. Anthony Hopkins, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt plays Death, and he's coming for Anthony Hopkins, and it's basically based off of Death Takes a Holiday, I believe, as for that film. But yes, Meet Joe Black is my number 9.
That's what that movie's about?
What was that?
That's what that movie is about?
Yes, Death. Death comes to take Anthony Hopkins away. So, and he has to. I
remember when it came out when I was 8 or 9, it incredibly bored me. So that's all I don't think I've ever tried since.
I think it incredibly bored a lot of people. I don't think it was well received, but I enjoyed it.
It definitely wasn't meant for my category at that point.
Watch it again. You might actually enjoy it. Who knows?
No, I mean, I like the premise. My number 8 is, I believe that's it. It's Rounders. Great poker movie. Matt Damon, Edward Norton, great chemistry between those two. John Malkovich eating some Oreos.
As the Russian, right? He's the Russian?
As the Russian, I still can't eat an Oreo to this day without thinking of John Malkovich. And just really, tight script, great, probably the best poker movie, Rounders.
Yes. My number 8 was one of those big ones that came in with Wesley Snipes. We all know that one. Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, Blade. This one was Marvel's real first R-rated superstar comic. And it was, to me, mind-blowing at the time. Watch some of the special effects, not as good, but it still holds a place in my heart because it was a departure from the cheesy films that we used to get from Marvel. I thought Wesley Snipes did a great job as Blade, and I can't wait for the remake because it's just going to get better, I think.
Yeah, if you're talking about special effects not holding up, there's a deleted scene and an alternate ending that really doesn't hold up special effects wise.
Yeah, I did with Stephen Dorff at the end. Yeah, I did. I didn't like it either. I saw that.
My number 7 here is right next to your 10 or 9. It's something in your honorable mentions that's Out of Sight. This is something that I've seen relatively more recently in the last few years. I love this thing, man. I just thought the dialogue is snapping here. It's got a great cast, stupendous chemistry between Clooney and Jennifer Lopez here. This is just one of those things. This movie just snaps. It vibrates. I really like it here. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I love it the same. And my favorite part of that scene, my favorite is whenever he's robbing the bank and he's talking about, if you don't do this, then I'm gonna, my partner's gonna shoot Mr. Gwynedd in the head or something like that. It was, to me, it was the greatest thing, and it was kind of eye-opening for me being a banker as well at the time. And it just tells me, there was a lot of things that went into that dialogue that I was like, oh crap, really? People know about that? And so it was pretty good. I enjoyed that scene, and it was a lot of, like you said, great dialogue, great chemistry. My number 7 is probably higher up on your list, but I had to make room somewhere. But it's the one that's directly over your shoulder, goes straight up to the very top between Fear and Loathing. It's going to be The Truman Show right there. Bam. The Truman Show. Just a great Jim Carrey effort. Him and Harris. Just the way the world other than Truman knows that he is the star. It was just a different take again, a different way of looking at how filmmaking is done, and especially when you have the whole town in on it. According to him, it was, even his best friend was nothing but an actor. And that's it was a tearful show, but it was still just a great piece and very underrated Jim Carrey film, in my mind. So that is my number 7, The Truman Show.
My number 6 popping up right here. My finger can't be shown. It's There's Something About Mary. Great R-rated comedy here, man. I mean, I just remember the word of buzz of this movie here. I think because it was so raunchy, I didn't get to see it till a couple years later, and it was like a hidden gem. But Ben Stiller, never more likable too, was Matt Dillon having a lot of fun in this movie here, making his second appearance in '98. How about that, Matt Dillon? There really is something about Mary here. It's fun seeing the twists and turns. Chris Elliott's turn in the end here. Even Jeffrey Tambor, one of the first things I remember seeing him in. So yeah, there's something about Mary. Another really fun movie.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I think it was a sneak preview, and it was a sold out sneak preview show. And it was, I couldn't hear half the dialogue because it was so funny. People were laughing so loud, and you could hear over the other line that was coming out. Especially the baseball behind the ear trick. Remember that? The baseball behind the ear, that was great. My number 6. Jordan, you spin me right round, baby, right round. That's The Wedding Singer. Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. It was probably one of the best films I think I've seen with them two ever, in those type of roles. And I still watch it. I know I crap a lot on Sandler films. You know I do. But this is one of the ones that I believe is good. I even have the soundtrack to it because it was that good of a movie and a great soundtrack on top. Wedding Singer, number 6.
Well, this happens sometimes in our list. Keep spinning me right round, baby, right round. Because my number 5 is The Wedding Singer here. I've always defended Adam Sandler's early days here, man. This, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, those 3 are the reasons why I will still see everything he does, whether it's as good as that or it's Ridiculous 6. Absolutely love this, man. It is funny. It is heartwarming when he's outside and he wants to tell him he loves her, but then he sees how happy she is in the dress and he thinks that she's happy with the guy, but she's really thinking about him and on the plane. I love this. You mentioned the soundtrack. I drove my dad to an appointment the other day and I was playing the song where he breaks down. You don't know what I mean to you. And just playing that, and I was like, that's from Adam Sandler movie. There's a reason why he's so quiet that he starts screaming. But it all was bullshit.
Yeah.
I love Wedding Singer here. I always say there's 3 tiers of Sandler, and it's right about each Barrymore movie. First Barrymore movie, great movies. Then the second Barrymore movie, it's decent, it's watchable, it's pretty fun. Third Barrymore movie.
What was the third one? Because 50 First Dates was the second one, I believe, right? What was the third one?
Blended.
Oh yeah, that was an awful movie, wasn't it?
It wasn't, but it's definitely like they're easily like those are easy to rank.
Yeah. Easily. Number 5, it'll probably show up on your list because I think you have an affinity for it. But my number 5 is Rushmore, Bill Murray. Again, shows up on your list. God, I went blank on the kid's name. What was his name at the time? He's not a kid anymore.
Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman, yes. I like him as well in this film. Later on he played the same character a lot, so I kind of left him to the side of the road. But but this movie was great. The chemistry between the two, going after the same lady, basically, is just so good. So much fun, and probably one of Bill Murray's best films to come out for a while. But yeah, Rushmore is my number 5.
That's right on the outer edge of my list, actually. I don't have Rushmore on my list. It's something I've thought about revisiting, but yeah, it's not in my top 10.
Ooh.
My number four is Life is Beautiful. Hey, I have a foreign film. Good for me. Uh,
When
so
did this happen?
saw this many years ago. Well, not that many years ago, but I actually think I saw this in school here, and this is just another one of just humanity, and it gets really sad at the end. Obviously, here, some stuff with the internment camps here, and the horrible things that happen to that culture. But yeah, just it's very charming. There's a reason why people followed this guy for a few more years, although he never made another movie as good as this. Um, yeah, just Life is Beautiful. I think really is a beautiful movie.
My number four goes with the rom-coms, high school rom-coms, and Jennifer Love Hewitt's in it, I believe, and Ethan Embry, and a few others. Can't Hardly Wait. I think Seth Green is in it as well. Your boy.
Are you really questioning if Seth Green's in it? Seth Green is hilarious in this movie.
I know he is, yes. Wearing the goggles throughout the whole freaking thing until the end, and he finds out who he is and, finds his love. But yeah, I just love this film. I watched it probably the other day. I'd say probably about 3 or 4 days ago. And, I just like it. I like the Jenna Elfman scene along with Ethan Embry as he's driving down the road. And it's just there's a couple poignant spots in the film. Is it going to break new ground? No, but again, I have an affinity for weird, high school social films. It seems, but yeah, I love this movie when it came out. It's not no 10 things about hate about you, but it filled the void for me.
Yeah, I got no argument here, dude. I've always loved this movie. This has been a guilty pleasure of mine for a while. It's not on my list. I probably said if I just went with sentimentality, I probably should have this on my list here. I love this thing. Great eclectic cast too. If you look at the cast at the end of the credits, everybody's in this. Donald Faison, Jason Segel, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. This thing has a huge cast, some fun cameos. I even had the one of the opening monologues from the one nerd that's exacting revenge, the pudding incident. I had that monologue memorized at one point, and I'm starting to think you're frozen. My number three, not a fun film. It's one of probably the most depressing films on this list. Is What Dreams May Come. Robin Williams. You got suicide stuff in this. You got hell. You got heaven and earth and everything in between here. But I just think visually it's beautiful. Performances here are fantastic. Shows you how versatile Robin Williams could be. Cuba Gooding Jr. He's in that sweet mid to late '90s hotspot before Cuba went off the boat trip rails. And yeah, this movie has always fascinated me. What Dreams May Come is my number three.
Yeah, it was a fascinating film. It's not up there on my list. It didn't make it, but I can see how it is. It is a very colorful film too, if I'm not mistaken. It was great, rich pictures. My number three is The Big Lebowski. Everyone loves the dude, as everyone does, and unfortunately, we looked at the only sequel I think we're ever going to get from this. And I only saw the 10 minutes. It was awful. But this one, by God, was a lot better. Julianne Moore and John Goodman, even who else? Steve Buscemi and Beau Bridges and Jeff Bridges. I'm sorry, the wrong Bridges. That's the Jeff one, and also Sam Elliott as your narrator. It's just a great little piece of film, and I love it when they're spreading the ashes. It's just a great scene because that would happen with me too if I'm spreading the ashes. It's gonna blow right back at me. What is your number two, my good man?
My number two is Earn It, Dutch, Earn It, Saving Private Ryan, one of the great epic war movies of all time here. Again, you talk about eclectic cast. This is a great cast, and all throughout. Adam Goldberg, Vin Diesel, Giovanni Ribisi, of course, Tom Hanks, Matt Damon. Nathan Fillion is who they think Matt Damon is at first. Well, that's a fun little callback now. yeah, it shows you the trials and tribulations of war. There's some fun discussions throughout it here. A couple more cameos: Paul Giamatti, Ted Danson. Yeah, I just this thing still holds up. I think this is so great. It's definitely one of the top 10 war movies of all time as well.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about that a little later, but I think I've already spoiled it a little, maybe. But anyway, number 2 on my list is a great film. It's with Matthew Perry and a young Chris Farley. Yes, it's only there for sentimental reasons because I've loved it so much. Almost Heroes. It was, to me, one of the greatest farcical comedies that I could ever remember. And the only reason why I say this is because I watch it so often, and again, it was with family and friends, and you're watching this movie, and I remember, Mom and I, one of the, grandmothers of the family, comes over. I can't even read that. You quit? Yes. But she was trying to figure out what we were watching. It was a true to story documentary. And she bought it until all of a sudden he had to go up and get the eggs from the eagle's nest. It was unbelievable. But yeah, I thought it was funny. To this day, I laugh so much. And, Eugene Levy is also in it, you make eyes at my woman, I'll kill you. And I just love it. So, yes, Almost Heroes. Yes, there's a different world. Who knows? But this right here is my world. I'm loving it. Almost Heroes, number 2.
What's funnier, this or Wagons East?
This one. Wagons East, it was pretty decent for the last film. It shouldn't have died on that one, but it was sort of a good film. I'm a John Candy fan, so yes, I still put it up there.
Here's a note for me, people like me and you. Don't make Westerns. That's what got
yeah, that's what gets us. That hard living out there in the country. So,
here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in our final picks, the number 1 films of 1998 in me and good old Dutch's opinions. My number 1, you said it before that I was probably going to talk about it later. You are indeed correct. Smiling Jim Carrey is right above my face. My number 1 is Truman Show. This just, again, I talked about that kind of sweet spot of, Adam Sandler and Cuba Gooding Jr. This is another sweet spot of just Jim Carrey in that mid-90s, man, cranking out, Liar and Liar, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, and now Truman Show. It's funny. It's almost before its time, talking about reality TV and how we're just following these people around. It's inventive. That final scene, him and Ed Harris going back and forth, the tense scenes with him and his wife and Noah Emmerich, and yeah, I just think this thing it's so well made, it's unique. It's still hard to really compare it to anything else to a large degree. Truman Show, man, always one of my favorites. I love it.
Well, you had it at number 2. I have it at number 1. Saving Private Ryan is my number 1 film. I just saw it the other night. It was on TNT right after AEW wrestling. Yes, it was right after that, and I again just couldn't turn the TV off. I had to watch the whole thing. That I always tear up during the opening scene, the battle at the Omaha Beach, and it's just a unbelievable, unflinching look at war. And that's what I loved about it. It was just a great story, needed to be told, and make you feel as if you were there. And that opening scene makes you feel that you were there. It's like a 30-minute opening scene, and you were right in there with them. And it's a great salute to the veterans of our that fought for us, and those who continue to fight. So I can salute toward them as well. Saving Private Ryan is my number 1 pick. And it was because everything you said as well with all the cast. It's just unbelievable performances by everyone. And even Vin Diesel, of all people, put in a decent performance.
Hey man, everyone came to play in that film for sure. All right, so let's go over our top tens real quick here. My number 10, Wild Things; 9, Rush Hour; 8, Rounders; 7, Out of Sight; 6, There's Something About Mary; 5, Wedding Singer; 4, Life is Beautiful; 3, What Dreams May Come; number 2, Saving Private Ryan; and my number 1, Truman Show.
Yes, my number 10 is Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. Number 9, Meet Joe Black. Number 8, Blade. 7, The Truman Show. Number 6, The Wedding Singer. Number 5, Rushmore. 4, I Can't Hardly Wait. 3, The Big Lebowski. Number 2, Almost Heroes. And number 1, Saving Private Ryan. So those are our top 10 for 1998. Can't wait till we do another year. But
We'll keep cranking them out. We've only done random years here and there, so we have plenty more years to go through.
1908 is next, everybody. But but no. But you know what? Let's just get on to that next segment. My favorite segment, where you're going to spill us some gossip, spill us some dish, give us the news and notable stuff.
Well, let's start on a down note. I think this is one that you enjoyed. I enjoyed as well. High Fidelity has been canceled at Hulu. We will not see any more Zoe Kravitz finding love.
It was good while I had it. It was good while I was there.
Nia DaCosta is set to direct Captain Marvel 2. She was coming off of being the director of the new Candyman movie, which hopefully we'll see sooner or later. So it's cool that they have a new director set for that. Comedy Central is going hard on the reboots. They have sent Ren and Stimpy revival series to order. They're going with the full series, so they're not waiting for a pilot or anything. They're going to give it a full season, supposedly. This was on top of the news that we've said on here before. They bring back Beavis and Butthead. So someone's going to get really confused, then come out of a coma from the 90s and be like, well, not much has changed. And they also have a Daria spinoff named Jody in the works as well.
Who's Jody?
I don't know. Was she on Daria, I suppose? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
I know me and you talked about this on Twitter. I was hoping you would get it so I could save some money. Mulan is headed straight to Disney Plus for an extra $30. So if you want to see Mulan in your home, you can, but you got to give Disney Plus another 30 buckaroos. You're not going to get it, Dutch?
No, I am totally against this. I think it's the worst plan they've ever done. It's another corporate greed deal. Yeah, this is the first time they didn't make $20 billion in a year. Yeah, it's a totally different time. Yes, it costs $200 million to make, but if you were to just put it out there, you probably get more subscribers and make some money. I know you're not going to make all your money back, or you could have just kept it in the theaters, just hold it out one more year. So it's been pushed. Everything's being pushed. But yeah, it's just, to me, ridiculous. $30 to rent it. But you get to have it. You get to have it for the rest of the year or however long it's on the station. But once you leave the network, you can't have it. So that's what they're saying. So yeah, it's a ridiculous thing. It's just a way to get more money out of these Disney fans who've already invested a lot of their life into it. It's a shame. It really is to me.
I'm going to play devil's advocate to you, brother. I'm going to disagree with you. I think ridiculous is definitely not a good word. I look at it like this. I mean, personally, if me and my father bring my little niece to it, that would have been over $40 in tickets. Then you throw in popcorn and dinner and gas. It might make sense. It doesn't make sense for just, two lonely guys like us that are looking to not want to spend $30 for a rental, but for families, it's not a horrible deal. And I'm sorry, they are losing a lot of money. Not that they need it, but they are losing money not being in theaters, so they're trying to do what's best instead of just saying,
it's their choice.
Huh?
It's their choice that they're doing this, and again, we can debate all we want.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm not. I'm just.
And I know you're putting the devil's advocate on me, but you know what? Though we have actually, I haven't pulled it up yet, but we do have the survey we had on here, and I'm going to tell us what the survey is right now. We did ask our listeners and viewers of whoever wanted to participate. There's 2 days left to vote. While you're at it, there's only, right now, will you be forking over the money to watch Mulan? 79% have said no, and 21% have said yes. So there's 21% of the world who will watch it.
Said only if their friend Dutch orders it.
Yeah, that's the other segment. If that other 29, if you find that 29%, I'll watch it with you, because this is the only remake that I told you I would watch of Disney's, and unfortunately, they made it even worse for me.
Well, there are some renewals coming as well to TV. Amazon Prime has ordered a season 2 for Hunters, the Al Pacino show, and then Netflix. Have you watched that Money Heist show?
I've been wanting to watch it. I think it has one more season, I think they said.
The season 5, which will also be its final season, is coming to Netflix.
So I'll probably watch it after the fact.
The big cast included The Rock, and I think it's Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, if I'm not mistaken. Red Notice will be resuming production next month here, so another movie that's trying to get its legs back so they can get that out to us. I mentioned before CBS All Access. I got it to watch Twilight Zone, and I forgot to cancel it, and then I looked at it and I couldn't find anything to watch besides Frasier reruns. And I guess they're admitting that because they're adding a lot of programming. They've done deals with Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, BET, MTV, and more. So there'll be lots of stuff that has already dropped and will be dropping very soon. Lots of new stuff to CBS All Access. So they're actually trying to make a play, because up till now, I've not been impressed.
It's all there now. You can actually go to Comedy Central and get any other library. You can get Dave Chappelle Show if you wanted to watch those again. BET, like you said, tons of those network shows that they have on those other networks. It's almost like the Hulu, so maybe they might be leaving Hulu. You never know.
And also too, they will be having there'll be lots of things actually coming to CBS, but the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, will be premiering on early 2021 over there as well. Kevin Smith's Green Hornet animated series is in the works. He's currently trying to shop that around to different networks here. He actually wrote not only Green Hornet comic books a few years ago, but he also wrote a screenplay a few years before the Seth Rogen one finally came out. So he's definitely got a passion for this, and hopefully that comes to light. He recently got the the He-Man back to life. So
yeah. So how is Dance and Donkey and Pierce Productions? How are we in this bidding war on this?
What are we bidding on?
For the Green Hornet series. I really want that series.
We're gonna make a cartoon. What are you? I don't think we're bidding at all.
Oh, we're not. Okay, I thought we were just gonna add our names to the production companies involved. Okay, never mind.
And one more piece of news. I only have one more thing if you don't have anything. I'm excited for it. Courtney Cox has now said she'll be returning for Scream 5, joining ex-husband David Arquette. So that's cool. Dewey and Gail. Will we finally see Dewey or Gail die? I don't know. I think it's possible. I think it's hard. And a big part of me wants them to live, just because I'm like, man, that couple's been through so much shit. Like, that would suck if they died now. But somebody's got to
kill them off in the very beginning. Just kill them both off in the very, very beginning of the show. And
it's quite possible. If you're a fan of the franchise, they did that with Liev Schreiber. He's dead in the first scene in the third one. And, of course, they pulled the Psycho in the first one. A lot of people thought Drew Barrymore was the lead when the movie came out, but it was Neve Campbell. Drew Barrymore's dead in the first 10 minutes. So it's possible. That's actually a really good call, Dutch. I could see that definitely being possible.
Well, I do have a few notes here really quick. If you've been looking for HBO Max, it's still not out there to really find. You have to go find that little app and then cast it onto your television or whatnot. But that Friends reunion that keeps happening. Well, if you have that Friends Friends reunion you've been looking for, it's not going to happen. It's been delayed again, once again, and we're all a little upset here with that. But
now, correct me and talk to me if you know better than I do. Was this just them chit-chatting, or is this a real show? Like, it's
just going to be like a get-together.
Yeah, see, I don't care that much.
And I Love Victor on Hulu has been renewed for a second season.
Ah, good old Victor.
Yeah. So that has been taken care of. I think there's Oh, wow. There's going to be a short comedy with Steve Martin and Martin Short. And Selene Gomez is just signed on Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I love those two. So, okay, there you go. Those are my little news and notes. I don't have anything else other than, I wish the greatest to all our audience out there. That's the only note that I have today.
Keep safe, wear your mask, love one another. Hopefully we're getting to maybe theaters. Regal supposedly is trying here in a few weeks. So we'll see. If something new comes out, I don't know about you. Well, let's talk about that real quick, Dutch. You gonna join me in Regal, or are you gonna give it a little while?
I'm such a shut-in lately, but yes, I would probably consider whatever it is, but I'd have to really know what's going to happen inside that theater. I might have to sit on the very, very tippy top because I do not want to have anybody coughing on top of me. So it goes forward. So
I never thought of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all my stuff, and the back row might be my best place to be underneath all that. Again, masks are always going to be what you're going to have to wear. There's always people going to take them off, so I don't know how they're going to enforce all this. But, it's just...
It's going to be just like Publix. We have signs posted all over the place, but as soon as you walk in, we don't say shit to you.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst part, when no one no one's told, what's going to happen until it happens. But, I'm torn, but I would like to see more films coming out. And I'd like to see them for me to watch them and enjoy
just like
them.
Natalie and Brullier, we are both indeed torn.
Yes. By the way, random stuff I'm going to say just right on the air real quick. With you, my boy. I ordered 2 new pops, the How I Met Your Mother pops. I pre-ordered those.
From who? Or who of the show?
It's Neil Patrick Harris and who's the main guy? I just forgot his name.
Ted?
Yeah, Josh Radnor. Ted, yes, Ted and Barney. Those are the two. And the Ted pop looks great because he has the blue French horn in his hand. So that's if you were a good if you love that show, the blue French horn is iconic for that show. So,
I got one more piece of note too. I want to give a shout out to somebody.
Ooh, what do you got?
A good guy of mine, a bit of a buddy of mine, stand-up comedian too from Florida, Jovan Lawson, who has been doing really good on America's Got Talent last year, and he was even on that TBS show, Tournament of Comedians or something like that. Him and 4 others have been casted for Connecting, 5 casted in NBC's coronavirus-era comedy series from Brendan Gall and Martin Gero. He joins Keith Powell from 30 Rock as well. So I just want to give a shout out to him. It's going to be on NBC soon. So really good dude. Literally someone you won't find, I think, a bad word about from anybody that has met him or done shows with him. And just really cool seeing a fellow comedian from Florida starting to blow up. And he's got so much charm. And good luck to him in the show.
Congratulations. Maybe you can get him on that comedy show of yours.
He's too big now.
He'll make time for a Florida boy. Anyway, the big boss man wants to say, have a great evening, a great day, or whatever time you're watching or listening. And
down to County, Georgia.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. The tax rate's pretty high. Ever since they built this brand stadium there. Anywho, I wish you all the greatest, and we'll check in on this theater thing. You and I will talk off the air a lot with that, and we'll go from there. And anything else other than that? You want to plug anything that you got going? We got trivia. Who's the trivia is anyway? Is that the name of it now? I'm not sure.
What? No. Here's the other nice 98 background I forgot to use. Hey, Moon.
That's a nice one.
Nice 98 too. A show about trivia is one of our spin-off shows. Dutch, we need you back on there soon to have some fun doing some trivia. I think we have a new champion challenger though. This guy named Steve Mesa. I don't know if you saw his most recent episode. He got the first 19 out of 20 right.
Good job.
Insane. He steamrolled it. I'm still thinking he might have hacked my computer because I don't know how he got 19 out of 20. Holy shiznit.
Well, because Dutch wasn't hosting and he wasn't doing crazy shit. That's why.
so he can get some wrong.
Oh, well, boss. So show about trivia and anything else? You got any new wrestlers coming on your other show?
Yeah, of course. Tomorrow's episode features who did I talk to last? Alex Todd is on the Catering Corner. That will be tomorrow's episode. We just had Josh Johnson on. That was a fun one. We're going to interview Zach Romero pretty soon, it sounds like. And also, if you like wrestling trivia, we have wrestling trivia on there over at the Pierce Wrestling channel, our brother-sister channel. And yeah.
Yeah, see, I like plugging for people. Also, Dutch is working almost. He's solid down on a few other things, but I think I'm gonna have to break out and just do my show that I've been wanting to do. So hopefully, my first guest might be available. I'm not sure, Miss Pierce. Is there? I don't know if you know if he's going to be available. I don't know.
Wait, is it me?
It might be you. I think it's going to be you because I got to break in my gear to make sure it works, and it'll be a no holds barred interview. Everything, buddy, on the table.
No, I'm ready. I would be honored, and I'll tell my agent to give you a good price.
Okay, well we'll work on it. And so, other than that, I wish you all the greatest. Have a great night.
Thank you, everybody, and as always, we love you.